Good. I don't know what had a little glitch there for a second, man, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. Definitely not gonna let me stop. Happy Wednesday, guys. I apologize for that glitch. It just happened with StreamYard. I don't know what's going on. Try to take down the overlay, and it wouldn't allow me to. But we see what it says, right? The importance of budgeting. Look, some people may not even don't even consider budgeting important. I think you need to reevaluate somebody who shares that with you, who tells you that. You need to look at them side eye if they are making statements like that. You probably really should, because it's very important. Even if you're not all in on it, it's still important. If you have kids, budgeting should be one of your main priorities for various reasons. Now, I'm a guy who adopted the budgeting thing because I was broke. Broke, in debt, needed money, had a daughter at the time, and felt like I could never get ahead. But I knew I had some bad spending habits that I had to break. I knew I needed to get some debt taken care of and paid off. I knew I had to get out of the buy here, pay here card pit. I knew I had to get out of the check cashing place pit. Guys, a lot of this stuff I talk about because I experienced, not because I heard about it. Most of the stuff I talk about because I experienced. And those are some of the things I experienced. I experienced being broke. I experienced being without. Homeless for a short period of time. Now, homeless, when I'm saying homeless, I wasn't out living in the streets. No. Fortunate enough, I had a place to go, but it wasn't mine. And when you are dealing with that, you're living under somebody else's rules, regulations, the house rules, the house laws. You're limited on what you can and can't do. You get tired of that. You get tired of that. And that's not the way I wanted to live. I couldn't see myself raising a family by doing it. I couldn't see myself building something for myself and my daughter at the time by living like that. So I had to make some changes. Now, one thing about me was I wasn't scared to work. So I wasn't scared of having multiple jobs if need be. When I know one job wasn't paying enough, I picked up a second job. Shit, let me say this. There was times I had 3 jobs because I knew financially I wasn't where I wanted to be. I knew financially I had a long way to go. I knew financially I wasn't in a place to even be a homeowner, let alone have a nice apartment. Now, I'm not materialistic. That's never been an issue with me. It's probably because I've always been broke most of life. maybe that's why I was, because some people, I see some materialistic people who broke as hell, was broke as I was, but they feel like they had need to find us things, and they would do certain things to get it. They will work hard to get it, but don't have nothing to show for it other than materialistic stuff, that name brand stuff that they got. That wasn't my mindset. I wasn't raised on it. I was always told no whenever I wanted those things, didn't get it. So I guess it caused me not to want it. And at the end of the day, I just felt like it wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, I just felt like it wasn't worth getting, worth investing into. Shit. I can't really pinpoint why. I just remember having a conversation and they say no. And I'm like, okay, the hell with it. I mean, I could have worked and did what some of my buddies did and got the name rest up and still been broke and still without and build up, I guess, maybe more debt. But I got sick of being broke. So I had to do something different. So that's when this budgeting came into play. Now, let me say this. I would encourage people to try different routes because you got to go with what's comfortable for you at the end of the day. Whatever budgeting plan is comfortable for you and it works within your lifestyle and your structure, even when you're married, it works within you and your wife's lifestyle and structure. Uh, you got to go that route. But I would say this, do it as early as possible. Don't wait till you get married to create a budget. You ought to have one going in prior to you get married. You know, that's one thing that I had then that helped me and allowed me to build myself up was I created a budget because I got tired of being broke, being without. And the beautiful thing, it also helps you if you struggle with discipline, it's going to force you to be disciplined. That's another good thing about it. But it's going to force you to do some things that you were normally not used to. It's going to force you to be uncomfortable. It's going to force you to appreciate little things. But it's going to allow you to build a sense of independence. And as a young person, you know, that's very important. A sense of independence, of having something on their own, to call their own. You know, that's very important for a young person. But with that being said, it will allow you to see and appreciate what you have and what you're building for yourself. And that's important. Especially if you come from a space where I was, like I said, I was broke without going to a check cashing plate, you know, saying get a check. They cut me a check for $150. I got paid $200 back because that's their fees. You know, they worse than loan sharks. And it's a rut that you could fall in, man. It takes you a while to get out. Because like you said, you living from check to check. And then about the time you got the money to pay back, you about to come up short again. So it's a vicious cycle. I was in that thing for a year. I did that shit for a whole year. And I was using 2 to 3 different places. That's how bad it was for me. Now, it took a lot of sacrifice. I remember I had to use public transportation. I had to give up my car because I couldn't afford the insurance on it. I got numerous of tickets, driving with no car insurance, riding dirty. I did all that dumb shit. I got insurance. I got the card. It was good for 6 months, but didn't really have insurance. It wasn't until I had an accident when I got caught up. And the accident was my fault. Didn't have insurance. So now I got appear in court with all that bullshit on me. Driving, expired tags, no car insurance, speeding, hit me with reckless driving. All that shit I had to deal with. Why? Because I ain't had no money. Couldn't afford to hold the insurance. Could afford it just enough to get it. So I could say I had a car in case I got pulled over. I got to show an insurance card, proof of insurance. Y'all know the speech. Had to do all that, but couldn't maintain it. Had to make decisions. Do I want to be late on my child support to pay this insurance? Nah, because I heard that threat. What the judge said prior to the guy was in front of me. You late on your child support, we're gonna take your ass to jail. That's something I didn't want to do. Go to jail. But those are the decisions I had to make because I didn't have money. because I didn't have the income. And so when you do stuff like that, yeah, it's crazy. Because at the time, all the good jobs was further out where the bus lines didn't go to. You know, they was at these industrial parks. Bus line wasn't always going always out there. Not at the time. It was early in the game then. Now, of course, later on they started having bus lines out there, but not at the time where I was dealing with it. With no ride sharing, I didn't catch no Uber. You either caught with a friend that works out that way, and look, please believe me, I'm gonna keep on. There was some times when I got to work early. I'm talking about an hour and a half early. I'm sitting in the break room, you know, saying, laying my head down. Now, this before I couldn't have a cell phone because I couldn't afford one. Laying my head down, you know what I'm saying, and telling my coworkers, hey man, look man, before you come your shift start, man, come in and wake me up if I'm asleep, man. Do me a solid. Cause I'm an hour and a half. What I'm supposed to do? You know, you ain't want to let you clock in early. They ain't trying to give you the overtime. They ain't trying to do that. So you just sitting in there waiting for your shift to start. That's what it was. You know, when a bus line was out there, I'm trying to get there early. I'm getting there 30 minutes early, sitting in the break room till my shift start. Like I said, when I was catching a ride, he has to be there at a certain time. I got to get there when he got to be there. But guess what? He's ready to go. I'm still working. I can't leave early. Man, please believe me. I remember I have to walk in 5 miles to get to the bus stop. Get to the closest bus stop because the bus ain't always coming all the way out there. In that industrial park. It may stop 5 miles. So I gotta make that walk. I gotta make that trip. That's not including the times when say my guy was sick, I don't know. He calls in, does what he did, but he can't reach me because I ain't got no cell phone. I ain't got no landline. Can't afford it. So I'm getting dressed like he's coming to get me. All of a sudden, the time he come and get me, he ain't coming. Man, what's up? Look like I'm gonna have to take a sick day too. Or get out there, make that 5 mile walk from the bus stop where they're gonna take me out and get to work. I did both. I took sick days when he took sick days, vacation days when he took vacation days, knowing I wasn't going nowhere. But I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't afford a car. My money wasn't right. These are the things I had to deal with that I went through, the challenges that I had to endure. But please believe you me, it put a certain hunger in me. Man, it's unmatched. Because I always kept that mindset. I said, I'll never go back to this. I said, I will never go back to this. I've been there. I will never go back. I'll do what I got to do. I do what I got to do. It is what it is. This is shit. This is my life. Now look, my my beautiful moderator just sent me a text. Said, "You're telling too much of your personal bit." You right. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. But this is me. Please believe me. I'm not going to share nothing with you that I haven't already dealt with. I will not share something I haven't already dealt with, mentally, emotionally, or physically. I'm not going to share anything that I haven't dealt with. But with that said, I'm going to stop telling you my sad story. Y'all don't want to hear all this shit, right? Y'all ain't trying to, y'all trying to get the information. The hell with Hink's story. You just talking, old man. Nah, dog. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you what helped me, allow me to make a change in the decision on creating a budget. That's what I'm doing. Situations what I went through. Situations what I had to deal with. Situations and experiences allow me to do something different. Now, some people just continue to suffer to be suffering. I don't understand. I don't get it. I couldn't imagine having to suffer that long when there's opportunities, ways, and options that you have. We just got to take advantage of it. One of the ways you can take advantage of it is what I'm about to talk about today. One of the ways and options you can make a difference financially is what I'm about to talk about today. And that's the importance of having a budget. I'm glad some of the people come. My man Sean says great advice to learn it through life experience. That's the facts. My fellow 502 guy said, "What's good, he?" And my man Josh from the foreign land of Vietnam. It's morning time where he's at. He said, "Morning, Hink." Right on. Shout out to my girl Almond coming through. He said, "You sound like Pain and I." God damn, that's not a good thing. I don't know. Excuse me. Look here, man. When it's all on page over, you can be long-winded as you want to. You can be long-winded. I'm the only one here. Who else up here? I'm looking around. Me and these Funko Pop and action figures and records. That's it. They ain't talking. They are. They got something to say. I gotta get up out of here. So I could be long-winded right now, but I'm gonna get to the information. Y'all so mean. Y'all so mean. Let's talk about it. The importance of a budget. A budget is a guide to keep you on a path to reach financial goals, right? That's pretty much what a budget is. Budget keeps your, saying your finances under control, shows you when you need to make adjustments on your spending. That's what a budget is. It also can help you decide on where your money goes instead of wondering where it all went. That's pretty much what a budget is, right? The reason why it's so important because it's going to allow you to have certain financial freedoms. It's going to allow you to have certain financial freedoms, and that's important, especially if you're an individual who is looking to build, maybe building a family, having a family, getting married, having children. You want to have certain financial freedom. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be a wealthy person. You're going to be a millionaire. No, I'm not saying that. But it's going to allow you to open certain doors financially and do certain things that you wasn't able to if you didn't have the money, or if you didn't have a budget, or if you didn't have certain incomes or certain finances. It's going to allow you to do different things. And financial freedom is a beautiful thing. Please believe you me. Having financial freedom will allow you to dictate on maybe even certain jobs you have, certain careers you may get in. Imagine you had no debt. You had no car payment, no house payment, not a lot of overhead. You know what I'm saying? You just may pay property tax on your house and whatever utilities you have. There's certain jobs you probably wouldn't do. There's certain jobs you probably wouldn't do where they making you work 40 plus hours. You working overtime, every day, an extra 2 to 3 hours. You probably wouldn't be doing that job. Why? You probably do a job just enough to get finance, to get certain benefits. Hey, you don't have to work 30 hours a week, and you still get your full benefits of life insurance, health insurance, medical, dental, visual. You'll be okay with that because you don't have a lot of overhead. You don't have a lot of debt to take care of. You don't have a lot of credit card debt. You don't have a big car payment, a house payment. You don't have all that. Why? Because you financially prepared. You did what you needed to do, and so you would definitely scale back. I promise you that. I know I would. I know I would. But all of that is important. So with that being said, one of the thing about the budgets that I made sure I invest, and I tried different ones. One of my favorite ones, I I locked into the Dave Ramsey plan when I would hear him on the radio. So usually at night, I don't know. I guess I got this from my father. Listen to the radio. Like I listen to the radio, and I would listen to the basketball games or the football games on a certain station. And after the games, they would play a replay of the Dave Ramsey show after the game's over. Even if it's one in the morning, I would hear his music, the little theme song. And I would, be home on my way home from games. And that's how I first heard it. When I was on my way home from a football game. I said, it's gonna finish. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the house, from where I was in Lexington, see Kentucky play football. And I would just listen. And I would hear him talk about this plan that you had to have, the emergency fund plan, the paying stuff on cash. Well, some of that already resonate with me because my grandfather, he couldn't stand for it. He didn't trust banks. He's one of those types that would be burying his shit in the backyard, putting money up and burying it and hiding it somewhere. That's what he did because he didn't trust banks. He believes in paying everything on cash. The hell with credit card. What's a credit card? I carried that mindset for a long time until I got in trouble with them before I got in trouble with them credit cards. And then I started adopting that mindset. I don't really need a credit card. Now, even now, I'm really not a fan of it. I'm not, but I know in order to get certain things like, rent a car and all that, I don't want them to hold that amount on my debit card and being held up. No, I don't like that. So I pretty much got that for like traveling. Let me just say that I pretty much just for traveling. It's what I've got the credit card for. But I would just hear him talk about the emergency fund, the debt snowball, and paying off all your debt and all that stuff. I would hear that like, damn. That's what I need to do. That's what I want to do. I don't want all this shit on my head. I don't want all this money. And I'm tired of living check to check. I'm sick of that, man. So that's one of the main people I was listening to. I remember him even coming to Louisville, and I went to one of his seminars. Now, at that age, I wasn't going to a lot of seminars. I mean, they remind me of listening to my professor at school and just being there, dragging on, taking notes. Now, let me give him credit for this. He's very entertaining in person. I don't know if you ever heard or went to a seminar or seen some of his videos. He's very entertaining. He's funny. He's a great storyteller. And he talks about little things about saving and how you do this, how you do it. And he has other people that he usually has with me. He's not usually by himself. He's usually about 4 people. And then there's this one black guy. I forgot his name, man. But man, he got a real deep voice. And he caught my attention because he said he used to play college ball. I forgot where he said he played at. But the funny thing is about it, probably about 10 years later, my former supervisor bought his book. I still have it to this day. It's a good book. Read it, talk about financial freedom. So he kind of resonated with me with what he was saying. Him and Dave Ramsey. But I was intrigued by what he was saying because he was talking about his life as a college student and how, he had little to no money and how he got caught up in that credit card circle too. Because, when we played on scholarship back then, you wasn't allowed to have a job. We was able to do like summer camps and we earned money by doing that. And some of those money we weren't supposed to get. But we're not going to talk about that. But you wasn't allowed to have an income. You wasn't allowed to have a job. Now, 2024 is different. These young cats are lucky. They get a whole lot that we wasn't getting. But then you didn't have that. So I understood when you wanted to do something special, take a girl out to eat, go do the movies, bowling, whatever the case may be. You just didn't have it. You only have so much scholarship check. You know what I'm saying? You only had so much scholarship money. And that's got to last you, for the semester. And then, semester you get another check. And so, you get caught up in the credit card thing. And that's kind of what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with it, even after college, still dealing with it, making payments, minimal payments, less than minimal payments because they didn't have it. Then it was time I just stopped paying them. They send me collections. That messed up my credit. That caused me not to be able to get a car at a regular car lot. I had to go buy here, pay here to get a lot. Didn't have a budget. Wasn't even thinking about a budget at the time. But it resonated with what he's saying to me because of what his lifestyle that he did. I did the same thing. And so it allowed me to really horn in on what he said. It wasn't just listen somebody else's just this one chick. She had a dry ass story. But thinking back, it was still a relevant story. But it just didn't. I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't relate what she was talking about. Because with her, she was at the point of doing it as a family. Well, I didn't have no family. I had a daughter, but I didn't have a family. I had a wife. I didn't have multiple kids like she did. That's the aspect she was coming from. I couldn't relate that. Now, when the guy was talking about what he started off in college, I can't. That was my story. I can relate with what he's saying. But look. Before I go any further, let me read the super chat, man. The brother came through with the $10 super chat, man. Brother's decided to bless me. He's helping. Look at him. My man, grown man, talking, man. He comes through with the $10 super chat. He'd have to choose. He'd have to bless what he chose to, and I appreciate it. Let me read his super chat. He says, "Blessings, my brother. Understand financial literacy is one of the most important things you can do in America." Great topic. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. And I definitely will be dropping a link for anybody else who want to come up here and share some of their experience and what they've done to help their situation. He's trying to help my budget out. Grown man talking is trying to help my budget out. Shout out to the brother, man. Shout out to the brother. Shout out to the brother. I appreciate that. Great show over there. Definitely. I told y'all last time, tap in. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. But let's get back to it. That brother I could resonate with because, like I said, his story was my story. Right? His story was my story, so I can resonate with him. And of course, I already heard Dave Ramsey's story and his thing because, like I said, I was listening to him multiple times on the radio. But it wasn't the thing was a discouraging me. I'm like, man, why can't I hear this early in the day? I can't keep waiting till late at night to hear the Dave Ramsey playing. Lo and behold, I didn't know they played it like early in the day. Now, of course, it was during my work time, and I'd catch some of it during my lunchtime. So I would, back then I still had the Walkman. Well, I guess it was called the Discman then. And I had the Discman that had the radio, the AM/FM radio on it. So I had that, and they played the CDs. I'm listening to it on that. You know what I'm saying? I still had at the time. I think the cassette player was it's still relevant, but it was dying out. So I had that too. So I kind of worked between those two things, and was able to like I said during my lunch period listen to usually like the beginning of the show, because he came on between I want to say about 12, a little bit after 12, maybe closer to 1, and I got to hear some of it. So I got to hear about 30 minutes of a show. And cats used to make fun of me. Why you listen to that guy? What the hell that white man gonna tell you about? I say, look, guys. I mean, look. I'm sick of being broke, man. I'm tired of being broke, man. My money's funny. I can't do certain things. Y'all go certain places. I can't go because I ain't got no money. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of it. So I would listen to it, and I would take notes. Like I said, I went to one of his seminars, man. It was very eye opening, very, very uplifting. And some people, oh, that shit's all scam. Man, you can call it what you want. I found it to be beneficial, and I started to see the results, and that's the most important thing. It's one thing you say, oh, it's a scam, but you're not seeing the benefits and then not seeing the results. I was seeing it because I was doing what we said. Now, please believe you me. It took a couple times for me to get it. I didn't get it all the first time I thought, listen, no, I didn't. I backslid. I fell off the wagon, like somebody who's dealing with drugs or alcohol. I fell off the wagon. There's times I didn't do what I should have been doing, where I was spending on stuff when I knew I should have been. I wasn't doing emergency, or I dipped into emergency when I knew I should have been doing that. Because my discipline where it needs to be. I wasn't ready to fully accept everything. I wasn't fully ready to accept the certain sacrifices that you got to have and make in order to have a budget. I wasn't. And shame on me. But it was a tough lesson, because guess what? I got back right into the same pitfall I was telling y'all about. The check cash in place. The credit card debt. Store credit cards. Department store credit cards. Some of the worst. Got caught up in all that. Got the credit cards paid up, and guess what? Maxed them out again. Because I wasn't mentally disciplined enough to stay focused like I should have. Because I felt I got in that comfort zone. I got into that comfort zone. Oh, I paid it off. I'm good. I can do it again. I shouldn't have been doing that again. I should have moved on to the next. So one of the things he talks about is paying the small to the highest. That was one of the challenges I had. Because I want to pay the highest to the lowest. Now, some people say, well, it really don't matter. Yeah, to me it does. Because I wanted to follow the rules, what he said, so I could feel like I could accomplish what I need to accomplish. And sometimes I didn't do it. But I love that snowball effect when you sit there and say it, man, and I didn't want to do the snowball. I want to do the reverse snowball. I want to go to bags and roll it down here. No. I had to stay locked in on the plan that he had set for me, or that I felt like he had set for me, and I was focusing on, because I seen what it done. Because it worked prior. That's how I was able to pay off my credit card bill. That's how I was able to pay off my buy her, pay her car early, a year early, because of that plan. Even though I watched it work, worked it out, and did it, I still want to do just the opposite, because I was stubborn. I was hard-headed. I was just hard-headed and wanted to do it my way, because I felt, oh, I know, I don't need to hear him no more. I got it. That wasn't the case. I just wasn't ready to graduate off and do it like I thought I could. I wasn't ready yet. But you live and learn, right? That's what you do. You live and learn. They got this plan here that I love. Now this plan, the 30 to the 50 to 30 to 20 plan for you mathematician adds up to 100. I started doing that when I was in a relationship, right? It wasn't until I was in a relationship when I started this plan, I got introduced to this plan. I wish I got to a hold to it sooner. Would have definitely helped sooner. But I got a hold to it a little later on. I'm hoping maybe I can share with you guys and y'all get it before before you get with your woman or your wife, whatever the case may be. So this 50, 30, and 20, this plan allows you to put 50% of your income to the necessities, right? 30% towards entertainment and fun, and the other 20% towards saving and debt reduction. Now, I kind of flipped those them last two around. The 30% I put towards debt and and building a savings, and I put the 20% towards entertainment. It works either way. That's up to you. But please believe you me, 50% of it needs to go towards the necessities. That's a must. That should be no negotiation. At least 50% or more. Now, if you want to put 60% towards that, okay, I understand. Then that means the entertainment's gonna take a hit. That's what should take a hit, not the debt and savings. That should never take a hit. That should never take a hit. Never. Because in order to have what you need, you got to start saving and building up. You got to. In order to get what you need, you have to start doing that. Shout out to my lovely moderator who's keeping it going in the chat, because these are things we talk about. These are things we talk about. These are discussions I have. These are the things I presented to her. Now, how to get her to buy into it. Not everybody's going to buy into it. Not everybody's going to buy into the method I think of is one pot. They're not. Not everybody's for that. I got a couple clips I'm definitely want to show you guys, some video clips. That that's going to be very beneficial. And a couple of them, man, is from an old show we probably all used to watch, people of a certain age, and that's the Cosby Show. I love the Cosby Show, and I'm not going to go on this long tangent about this. I hated to see Bill go out like that. I hated to see what they did to his show, because there was a lot of great life lessons in the Cosby Show. And people who grew up on the Cosby Show, such as myself, there's a lot of life lessons in there. And a couple life lessons didn't really resonate with me at that time because I didn't think about it, because I was too young. When I was watching that, some of them kids was younger than me. Even Rudy wasn't younger than me. I was probably more close to Theo's age, I think, at the time. But I can relate with what some of the things and conversations they was talking about. I remember having this conversation with my uncle in the barbershop. Again, we'll talk about that in budgeting. Even that early, they talked about it, but it went in one ear after the other. Because, man, I wanted candy. I wanted to get certain toys or stuff like that, man. I felt like I needed to have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of wearing Buddies, AAU 100. I don't know about them old shoes from Kmart. I want at least some nice shoes. I used to say I had to have the top notch. I didn't need the Jordans, but at least give me a pair of shell toe Adidas or something. Or some of them Ralph Sampson and Pumas. I needed some of those, man. At least those are the lowest of the lows. I at least could have had those. You know what I'm saying? The Kentucky Dunks is what we used to call them. The Louisville Dunks and Kentucky Dunks. Give me some of those. The Nike Cortez, man, can I get a pair of those? The Reebok Classics, the K Swiss. So I wanted those. But man, there was a lot of great life lessons in the Cosby Show, man. And shout out to Value City. That's where I got my first suit at. My first Easter suit came from Value City. House of the irregular stuff. Didn't realize that until I got to a teenager. I'm like, what does irregular mean? Oh, shit, I'm telling on myself. Let's go to these clips, man. We got to watch it. This is what I need y'all to see. Now, for y'all who are not familiar with The Cosby Show, it's a great TV show. Used to come on in the mid-'80s. Had a lot of family values, really positive, especially in our community, to see a black family, successful black family, raise their kids, do what they need to do to be the best role model they can for them, provide that structure, and all the great things that come with it. It was a beautiful thing. It really was. Like I said, a lot of life lessons, gave us young people at my age some sense of hope that, you don't have to be raised in a broken home. You don't have to raise your kids in a broken home. There are real people out there who really have this lifestyle where they have both their parents in the home. Now, fortunately, I didn't see it. And I didn't always do a good job to provide it for mine. I'm blessed enough to have a redo, so I can provide some type of model for my kids. But the Cosby Show was just that for us, and a lot of life lessons that they presented. It's great. It was great, and you have to appreciate that. But that was just one clip. Let me show you this next one. I could please believe me, I can relate with both clips that I want to show you. But let me show you this next one.
My money in my bank account in my name. You're acting like I'm asking you for your money, and I'm not. It's my money, and I can do what I want with it. Are we still in America, or what?
Now, do you want to go first, or should I?
I want to go first.
Okay.
Come sit here. The waterbed and the dead fish. And at this point in your life, you can do pretty much what you please because you know in the back of your mind that we're always there to bail you out. We're your safety net. You see, we're so good at it, half the time you don't even know we're doing it. Well, your father and I accept that responsibility because we're your parents. And you better remember that, young lady. Because if you ever take this attitude with us again, you can take whatever is in that bank account of yours and go discover America.
Again, another situation that I can relate to. I remember as a young adult coming home from school and come on, we going out. It was a hard semester. We just did what we need to do, but we gonna go out and party a little bit. I'm gonna be home late. I remember my mom said, "Well, where are you going?" I said, "Mom, I think I was 21, going 22 at the time. 22 years old. Mom, I'm grown." She said, "You living in my house." I said, "God damn." I couldn't fight her. She's right. 6 months later, I got the hell up out of here and been back. Even when I was going through my rough time, I got separated from my ex-wife. Slept on my boy's couch for 2 weeks. I wasn't going back because I didn't follow her rules and regulations. Even when I was going through financial struggles and my budget wasn't a budget, and I was broke as hell, wasn't going back. Living in an efficiency apartment. I'm talking about one apartment. It had a bedroom, living room, all in the same space. Only thing was sectioned off was a kitchen, and that was it. Kitchen. Then he had a bathroom with just a stand-up shower. Shit. That was what it was. But wasn't going back. Even when I was broke and disgusted, I wasn't going back. Yeah, fortunately enough, I had a good friend who allowed me to stay whenever I got to that point. It wasn't often that I had to do that, but it was a couple times. One time when I was separated from my ex-wife. The other time was when, money was funny. I got evicted. He was a good guy. He was always there for me. I always looked out. Always took care of me. Made sure. Always made sure. But, that's a different story. But being on a budget, man, is very important. Again, like I said earlier, if somebody tells you, yeah, you don't need a budget, man, don't listen to them people. Don't listen to people, man. They don't mean you no good. Either they're jealous of you, or they don't want to see you win. I got some buddies who are rich, and they do it on the budget. They own businesses, they own properties, but they realize you still got to have a budget. Even each, they always want to know what it costs, how much is it, and if they don't want to spend it, they're not going to. You're not gonna con them or trick them or get over. You just not. They don't want to spend it. They're not gonna spend it. Look, several reasons. Several reasons you should have budget. You should budget. Reason one, budget can help you in an emergency. Why? Because you already prepared for this. You already planned for this. You already did your work. You already set up for the emergency fund that you need to have. Like I said, that's probably one of the most brilliant thing I have ever heard Dave Ramsey say. The emergency plan. Now, he always says $1,000. I started off like that, but I always made it more because, of course, you got to deal with inflation and all of that, and costs of living has went up tremendously since before when I first started with his plan. So, of course, I went up since then about that. But that's one thing it definitely can. Another one is budget can help with retirement. Yes, it can. Because there's going to be a time where you're not going to want to work anymore, or you just can't work anymore because physically you're unable. And so you got to make sure you have a certain budget because you own a fixed income. That's important. How you going to manage for the rest to the end of your life? Well, you got a budget. You have to. And hopefully you did the things you need to do to save, to invest. So this won't be too much of a problem. But even if you did all those things, you still got to have a budget. You still got to know what's what, where your money's going here, when it's coming in, what's going out, what needs to be paid, what doesn't need to be paid, what needs to be let go. Cut loose. Number 3, budgets can help you fix bad spending habits. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Because it's forcing you to be disciplined. It's forcing you to say no. It's forcing you to walk away from situations you don't need to be invested into, financially wise. It also kept me away from certain women because they was on some stuff that I wasn't on. Like I said earlier, I'm not a materialistic type guy. And some, you don't run into some women that aren't materialistic. They want to find. Mm-mm. My buddy said, I don't need to be with you. My buddy said, I don't need to invest in you. My buddy told me to tell you, hell no. I'm not going out with you. My buddy said, we ain't eating out every night. I don't know what your buddy said, but that's what my buddy said. I'm listening to my buddy. Hell with yours. I'm just saying, man. That's what my budget say. I don't know about what her budget say talk about. My budget said, I can't be with you. We ain't gonna be together. You ain't willing to go to the buffet all you can eat. I'm just playing with y'all. Shout out to Ponderosas. I can't even get it out. Budgeting gives you control of your finances. Again, it will make you adjust your circle of friends as well. Budgeting will make you make a decision on your friendships, your relationships, even family. Let me say that again. Budget will make you make adjustments on your friendships, your relationships, and even your family. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know them family members that always got the goddamn hands out. You know them family members that always got the hands out there and they need something, they want something. They want to sell you dreams and hopes and got deals and that and this story and that story. Selling a lot of wolf tickets. Guys, you got to learn how to say no. I said it before. I had to tell my mama no. Now, I'm sorry. Man, how could you tell your mama no? Financially, it wasn't in my plan. Financially, I couldn't afford to give her what she's asking for. Financially, I couldn't do that. Financially, if I did that, that would have put me in the stages of going back to debt that I wasn't willing to go back to. I wasn't willing to co-sign on a car. Financially, that made no sense to me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It made no financial sense, especially at that moment in my life. I couldn't do it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Number 5, let's go to a budget ensures you only spend what you can afford. That point right there. That part right there. That's very important. Budget ensures you only spend what you can afford. Especially when it's not just about you anymore. So now I got a child. At the time, I really couldn't afford. But that child needs certain things. And I got to make sure I'm able to provide it. And it's not like trying to get the lavish things, but I had to make sure I had the stuff that she needed: clothes, food. Make sure I maintain my health insurance because I had to provide health insurance for her. make sure I can afford the copay. Because anytime you go to the doctor, I had a copay. Now, I'm not saying everybody had a copay. Some people are lucky enough to have benefits, they don't have to. But I had a copay, and I had to make sure I had the money to pay for that. So those are just some of the little things that you have to do. Budgeting can improve family life. When you don't have the burden of having that over your head, it's very relieving. It's very, you don't feel the stress. You feel at ease. I couldn't imagine at the time when I was going through my stuff, living like that. That's I could imagine putting my wife and my son and my daughter and her, my ex, through all of that shit. I couldn't. I couldn't imagine doing that. Having a family, trying to raise a family, and being in a financial stress. Yeah, I know people live like that. I just didn't want to, and I don't want to poison my family by having them explain things. Now, of course, my daughter had experienced the early parts of it, so she's seen that struggle. I just don't remember too much because she was like early in stage, but she was around when it was going on. She was around before I started hitting my financial freedom. She missed out on some things. She didn't get to experience certain things. My son, he never had to experience that. My daughter, she did. But it's just something, I think she appreciated because she did able to see the growth and the change. We kind of talked about it later on down in life. How did you deal with that? When she heard and I talked about the back history of the situation, my financial situation then, of course she really understands. Like I said, she was young, but she was around. She's seen it, but it indirectly affected her. But to have that conversation with her, it kind of helped her, kind of gave her a level of appreciation, a level of understanding. And that's important. Those are lessons that you're able to teach your kid. Now, it's kind of harder to teach my son the same thing when he's never seen that or experienced that. He's experienced just the opposite. So I had to go a little more depth with him and bring some different examples. I had to bring some different realities to him, where we had to go down to the soup kitchen or the Salvation Army or the Angel Tree and see those individuals and how they was living and how blessed you was. You never had experienced that. You never had to worry about hand-me-downs wasn't something that you had to deal with. You didn't have to share your bedroom about 4 other people. You never had to do that. Those are some experiences I had to deal with. Hand-me-downs, Goodwill, DAV, government assistance, getting brown boxes left on our porch because my mom was working, so she wasn't able to go down to the place to pick up her stuff where they was delivering it to us. He never experienced that. Never had to. So I had to show him the struggle in a different way, which worked too. But I had to make sure he's seen it because it gives you a level of appreciation. Number 7, Budgeting can reduce financial stress and improve mental health. This is true. Jesus Christ. When you are broke, you go through a lot of stress. Panic attacks, heartaches, high blood pressure. You go through all of that shit. Heart rate up, worrying. You are, you're annoyed, you pissed off, you're mad, you're jealous, you're angry. All of those feelings, all of those things you're going through because you don't have. You seeing somebody else and you don't have that. I mean, the struggle is real. When I say it's real, it's real. So those are the 7 reasons why you should budget. Those are reasons why you should think about creating a budget. Like I said, even if you're not in a relationship, you're single and you're just out there, by yourself, doing it by yourself, that's even more another reason why you should do it. So you can go into a relationship with some type of financial plan that you can present to a woman. Some type of financial plan that you can go into the relationship and you're not looking as a burden. You're looking at it as a benefit. Because a woman don't want to deal with them. Look, they don't. You don't have to be wealthy to get with a woman. I promise you don't. I said it before. I see homeless men get pussy. But at the same time, if you have some type of financial benefit that you can bring to a woman, that security is very relieving for a woman. You have a plan, you have structure, you have what you are looking to do. Shout out to my friend Travel One, who always comes with these great questions. Let me read her question. She said, question. Jesus Christ, Travel One. Do you find that Black men have a poor man's mentality when it comes to money? If so, why? If not, why not? My good old favorite travel one. Now I would consider this let me take the question down. I would consider that a trolling type question from someone else. But from Travel One, I feel like she's trolling me. But that's okay. Because my lady likes it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they had brunch one day. I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. But to answer your question, let me see it again. I want to make sure I get it correct. Do you find that Black men have poor mentalities when it comes to money? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. In 2024, I don't believe that. Maybe back then because we didn't have the knowledge. We didn't have the information. So, they can both be true. Back then, they probably did. In 2024, with the information that we can get readily available to us at the drop of a dime or any situation, I believe we don't do that anymore. I believe us as Black men, we're wising up. I believe we're making better decisions because financially we would love to see And some people do it for certain reasons. Now, whether they doing it so they can show out and show off, that's on them. I don't know why they do that, but if they do, that's what they do. But I believe for the most part, I don't think we do that anymore. I think we're more aware. I think we're more aware, and then we're willing to do certain things in order to get our finances in order. Uh, Look, I'm doing this, and I'm hoping and that other men and women are able to benefit from this stream, whether they watching it live or they gonna watch the replay. Look, Travel One, do me a favor. How about you do me a solid? Make sure you share with some of them black men you think is not getting or doing the right thing. Make sure you share this with them so they can be informed, so they could be enlightened, they could learn, so maybe they could do something different, right? Can you do that for me? I appreciate it. But try one. Hopefully hit that like button when you came in the door. And hopefully this is beneficial not only to your male friends, but yourself as well. Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. So I guess they're gonna go back and forth in the chat. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let them go back and forth in the chat. As long as they respectful, I'm okay with it. Nothing wrong with some back and forth, is it? Nothing wrong with it all. Let's keep this thing going. But before I do, there's another clip I want to play. Now, this clip right here. If you're in a relationship, right? If you're in a relationship, you married, and y'all coming together, trying to create something. One thing is, whoever you're with has to be aware of finances. I don't care if you make your own money and what y'all call make your own money and getting a check. They still need to be aware. Even if y'all choose to have my account, your account, and all that. I don't agree with that, but even if you do, your spouse should be aware of what's going on, how much it's going on, and all that. They should. I think so. This mentality I seen is on this video was disturbing to me. So let me play this clip.
Do any one of y'all share y'all bank accounts?
¿Cómo está?
So is that a no? Okay.
That's a hell no.
So do you feel like your husband isn't financially responsible, or what's the
No
reason?
comprende. The great women are great with finances. And we should keep it that way. Is it great to have a man? Absolutely, right? But never rely on a man.
Your money is your money, and never let them know how much you got saved.
Yeah, that if we're together as a couple, we're married, that doesn't fly with me. I take that one pot theory. If we're trying to create a budget, we got to know what all income is, all money, how much is made, how much is brought in, how much is going out. That's a part of the budget. That mentality I just showed you right there would not fly with me, would not work with me. And if you have trying to create a budget, how does that work? I can't understand that. I don't see how that works. I don't see how that works at all. I don't see how that works at all, because that right there, that selfish mentality, you know, ladies, we share DNA. We share a space, DNA, Maybe even share kids, because kids are ours. We're raising a family together. But you have a problem with sharing paper. You have a problem sharing plastic. Because that's all money is paper and plastic between the two choices. That's it. So you have a problem with sharing that, but you will give me your body, your fluids, your space, your time. You give me all that, but you will not share your paper with me. That don't make sense. You share maybe even your deepest, darkest secrets, but you will not share that paper or plastic. I can't relate that. I can't. I can't. Lady says, one pot says a lot about how much one trusts their spouse. Yeah, it really does. And that's just something I just can't relate to. I'm investing into us. Not investing in me and you investing in you. No, we invest in us. I'm blessing you with with my last name. We'll come together as one. So when we come together as one, that means everything, one pot included. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I seen that clip. I said I need to download it. That's definitely going to be one of the things I definitely had to make sure I discuss. Not going to make a long, drawn out thing because, again, I totally disagree with that, what them ladies were saying and how they was talking. Totally disagree with that. But with that being said, let's go. How do you make a budget? How do you make a budget? Well, guys, if you don't know, I'm gonna help you out. If you don't know how to create a budget or make a budget or start a budget, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna do you a solid. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. First things first, you need to assemble your financial documents, include bank statements, credit card balances, investment accounts, paycheck stubs, etc. That's the first thing you need to do. You got to come together and do what you got to do. One of the things I did, we're going to put this shit on the table. I went in for this, even not only just those things, credit report, credit scores, all that's included. All that's good. Your credit history is important to me. Because please believe me, eventually, if you're living in an apartment, you want to go buy a home. And if you are even have a home, you may need a bigger home because you want a bigger family. It's going to be just more than just us two. Maybe we're going to have little Junior. So Junior needs his own space. He needs his room. And we want our privacy. Maybe we need to not only have to have Junior, we decide Junior needs some company. He needs some siblings. So now we have another child. Maybe it's our daughter. Maybe it's another son. Who knows? Now we got two little hard-headed, knucklehead boys. Eventually, maybe they want to have their own. They want to share maybe all the way up to about 10, 11. But then they want their own space, right? So now we need to get a bigger home. This 2, 3-bedroom house is not just going to fit. And then guess what? We turn around, mess around, and have our princess. So now we got 3 kids. And we know for sure she's not sharing rooms with them little hard-headed, knucklehead boys. She needs our space. So we're going to bless her. So now we need to start investing, looking for a 4-bedroom house to accommodate everybody. Each kid's going to have their own room. Mama and daddy needs their space. And then we're going to live happy and peaceful ever after. But we got a budget. Got a budget. And so, like I said, you got to do those things. Assemble all financial documents, including bank statements, credit card balances, investment accounts, paycheck stubs. All that's important. Credit report. All that important. Another thing you got to do, calculate your monthly income. Calculate your monthly income. Guys, that's why you bring them financial documents to the table. That's why you bring them a bank statement to the table. That's why you bring your credit card balances and your investment accounts and your paycheck stubs to the table. So we can calculate what's coming in. What is our income? What streams of income do we have? Do we have more than just our one that we work at a 9 to 5? Do we have certain investments and accounts that we are making money off of, and especially off the interest? Do we have those things? And those things are important because guess what? The person who you are spending the rest of your life with needs to know these things, needs to see these things. So we can adjust accordingly. Those things are very important. Very important. But look, don't let me keep on floating without doing a super chat to one of my biggest haters in the world, Big Ant 11. That's why he's called Big, because he's a big hater. Now, normally he don't hate on me until football season. That's when the hate really comes out. During that time, he usually showed me some love. Shout out to that veteran. Thank you for your service, brother. Big Ant 11 with the $10 super. He didn't have to. He chose to. And I appreciate the blessing. Thank you, Big Ant. I appreciate it. He said, Hink, who doing all that sharing with. Hell no, bro. I ain't got time for that. He said, who you doing all that sharing with? Well, let me show you. I'm sharing with this one right here. This woman who said, thank you, Big Ant 11, for the super chat and the support Hink's channel. That's who I'm sharing with. And come August the 31st, I'll be sharing even more. She will be sharing my last name. Hopefully say, I do. So, Big Ant, to answer your question, that's who I'm sharing with. And she's sharing with me. Big Ant ain't shit, but that's my dog right on. She says I do, and I will. Right on, right on. Let's keep going. I'm not going to allow Big Ant to distract me from the lessons that I'm trying to teach. I'm not going to allow Big Ant and his crazy comment, his crazy super chat distract me from helping some future young soul out there on how to get a budget and how to create a budget and how to do the right thing. I'm not. I'm staying focused. The hell with you, Big Ant. You're wrong for that. Let's keep it going. Calculate your monthly income. You got to. You got to know what's going to be going out. You got to be knowing what your debt collectors want to be paid, how much they got to be paid, when they got to be paid. It's important. Listing your monthly expenses includes fixed costs such as rent or mortgage, car payments and insurance, health insurance, utilities, credit card payments. All that's important. Like I said, you have to know what's going out. You got to know what your house payment is going to be. Car payment, rent, whatever utility. Now, of course, we all know utilities kind of fluctuate depending on the season, right? Like right now, My light and gas bill is gonna run about mid 200s. Wintertime, it doesn't run that high. It's usually a little low down. It's probably about a $50 different lower. I'm not gonna say why, because my woman's here and she's running my damn hair. But it's usually higher in the summertime compared to the wintertime. Fortunately for me, I don't have a car payment anymore. Not a fan of car payments. Not a fan of any payments, to be the truth be told. But you know, it is what it is. You know, and these little things like right there, like health insurance, of course. If both of y'all working, I would say this. When y'all open enrollment is, evaluate who has the better coverage, who has the more cost-efficient coverage, who's going to offer the best benefit and the most for your insurance. That's something you need to definitely evaluate between you and your spouse. So if it means your spouse got better health insurance, then she needs to carry the health insurance. It doesn't really matter. It's coming out of the same monies. So a check's going to be a little bit shorter. You understand that. It is what it is. You make financial adjustments. Now, insurances, we talk about other insurance, like, maybe because of life insurance or homeowners insurance and car insurance. Shop around. Again, that's another thing you need to budget. What insurance provider is going to give me the most for my money? That's very important. Who's going to give me the most benefits? Who's going to give me the most deductions? Who's going to give me the best coverages? Who's going to be Johnny on the spot? Do I have to call them about 4 or 5 times before they send somebody out? Or am I paying a cheaper rate, but yet I'm getting less coverage? All of that stuff's important, man. All that stuff important. So definitely look into that. Definitely make sure you do your research on that. Me, I'm all about getting 3 quotes before I make a decision on anything. Anything. We just have to recently do that between who's going to be the person who's going to, we're going to finance our home through. Who's going to be the person who's going to do our wedding pictures. Of course, we're going to do that while we're shopping for a home. Of course, most times you go to multiple homes. You don't go to the first home you see, oh, how's the house we get? No, you don't do it. You usually see multiple houses. So that's another option right there. So you definitely got to make sure you do that. Definitely shop around, ask questions, see what's what. Big Ant 11 comes back. Can I be the preacher? No, Big Ant 11. You cannot be the preacher, because you're going to send me to hell with your preaching. But virtually, you can be there. Spiritually, you can be there. But you will not be preaching. I do it the ceremony, brother. But thank you, brother, for blessing me with another $10 super chat. He didn't have to. He chose to, and I appreciate the blessing. He's trying to help my budget. I see what you're doing, Big Ant. You're trying to help my budget. You're trying to help my bottom line, and I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And look at her. Come on and preach. We don't want that heathen preaching at our wedding. Shout out to Big Ant 11, baby. Shout out Big Ant. Let's keep this thing going. I told you I'm not going to let that brother distract me. I'm not going to let him distract me. He's staying focused. Another thing is, do your best to include variable expenses such as dining and traveling and entertainment. That's all important. That's all has to be in your budget. Because entertainment, travel, and dining, That's all one budget alone, and we call that the entertainment fund. And what you plan on spending, what you not plan on spending, what we should spend, and what we're not going to spend. All that's important, and that's got to be included. Because, like I said, you got to budget for certain things, especially if you got a family, you got multiple kids. You got to make sure you budget for that. You got to get on that plane. You got to budget for that. You can't just say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get up. We're gonna go." No, we're not gonna do it, and just drop it on the credit card. No. We're gonna budget for this. We're gonna save for this. We're gonna move some money around for this. I may have to work some overtime for this. If that's what you got to do, you do what you got to do. Now I know some of y'all just go get up. Y'all got it like that. Everybody's not like y'all. Some people actually got to go out here and grind. Some people might have to get a second job in order to pay for certain vacations. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Please believe you me. There's nothing wrong with that. You do what you have to do to where you get that financial freedom where you can able to afford certain things. You do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. Add up your expenses and your income in separate columns. So, guys, if you don't, I spreadsheet. I got a lot of stuff I do on spreadsheet. I got these Funko Pops on the spreadsheet. These action figures on the spreadsheet. My albums on the spreadsheet. My financial stuff on a spreadsheet. Why? Because it allowed me to lay eyes on what I'm looking at. Now, you go ahead, you have it online or hard copy. I got a book that we use, for our Bitcoin. We do that. Hard copy of that. That's a must. You have to do what you have to do. So if that means you're gonna, Microsoft Words, Microsoft has a great spreadsheet, an example, an outline that I like to use. You can always Google one and get certain spreadsheets that are more user friendly for you. I definitely recommend that. But I still use hard copy. I just do, because I guess I'm one of them old fashioned guys. But I know some of these young cats say they're more modern and don't believe in doing that. They don't want all that. Oh, of course, some of these people who don't believe in balancing their checkbooks. Say, well, you got to balance it for you. Bullshit. So you rely on everything the bank says. I don't. I still do checks and balances. I check my account every day. I learned that from my grandfather. I don't trust these banks because I've been burnt too many times. So I check my account every day. Accounts. Let me say more than one. Accounts. Check them every day. It's just a must for me. But add up your expenses and your income, separate columns. Evaluate on how your expenses and incomes matches. You got to. That's what you call checks and balances. That's a must. That's a must on, making a budget. Know the difference between luxuries and necessities. Let me say that again. Know the difference between luxuries and necessities. I need a car. Okay, yeah, in 2024, it's a necessity. It really is. Some people, man, you go Uber. You don't want to. Uber is not cheap, especially if you got to go certain distances. It's not cheap. And sometimes it doesn't make sense because of the time it may take for you to wait for that, and you can just get up and go. So having a cost-efficient car is a necessity more than luxury. Now, a luxury, maybe having a fully loaded car, you don't need that. You don't need a 6-cylinder, whatever car. What's that? I don't know. What's your luxury car? I don't have one. I'm a truck guy. That's a different story. But your luxury cars, your Mercedes-Benz, your Jaguars, your Range Rovers. Those are luxuries that a lot of people don't need. I really can afford, but definitely don't need. Get your Ford Focus. That's what I got my son. I got him a Ford Focus. Ford cylinder. Good on gas. Good on gas. Get you something like that. You only need something that's going to take you from point A to point B. That's it. That's it. That's what you need. Get that. That's a necessity you can afford and maintain. But a luxury car, yeah, you don't need that. So, you got to evaluate that. You got to keep that shit in mind, man. Be aware of the little stuff that can add up fast. We know what that is. Some of y'all got vices, man. Some of these vices y'all might just need a kick. Maybe drinking, maybe doing, smoking weed or doing drugs or going out to dinner every night or partying every night, going on trips once a month. Some of those things, man, you might just have to let go. Some of those things you can't really afford, but you're willing to put on a credit card and know you can't pay it 30 days from today. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. Restrain yourself. Willpower. Use cash rather than credit cards whenever you can. Those are all little things a part of building that budget. We'll say, what about a Chevy? What are you talking about? The Malibu? I think that's a 6-cylinder though. I used to have old small, what's it, 2004 Chevy Impala. Unless you talking about now I do have a 75 Chevy Impala. That's not a luxury, is it? Well, I don't know. Well, you consider, I guess it could be. Guys, I got a 1975 Chevy Impala. I don't know if that's considered a luxury or not. Maybe it is. I pay cash for that thing. Let me see. End up paying $2,100 for that car. And that's prior to it getting restored. But that's how I got the car, yeah. Older models, I have a 94 Suburban. Woo! My man Will got a gas guzzler. God damn. I know what you're talking about, though. I'm a truck guy. I got a truck. I'm a Ram guy. So my grandfather had a Ram truck. And I remember I thought I was going to get it. But it didn't. But I love that Ram truck. It was nice. I loved it. Oh, man, that's funny. But another thing about budgeting, and let me get ready to drop the link. I want to make sure I give people opportunity to come up here and just, like you said, share their stories, their experience, and all that good stuff. They want to get the opportunity to talk about it. And like I said, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about budget, because I realize where I came from. I realize how bad and rough it was because I didn't have a budget. And I operated day to day. And that wasn't beneficial to me. It wasn't going to be beneficial, when I get a wife, when I started to add on to my family, having another child. That I knew it was. It was hard to even date during that time. The struggle was real. You couldn't go to certain places. You had to go to what restaurant was I? Denny's. Not saying there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you would like to switch it up. You don't want to keep going to, Applebee's, Denny's, Old Charlie. You want, depending on, how the relationship going, you want to be able to treat the woman who you are seeing and dating and going out with to a nice restaurant. And I just couldn't afford to do that. I couldn't afford to do that. Now, shout out to them women who were still willing to accept me, even though I couldn't do that. Shout out to them, because they didn't have to. They could just, no, you broke ass. Thank God I had something else to offer besides just taking them out to a nice restaurant. Damn. But I always said, when my time comes, I'm going to make sure I make the best of it. That's what I said. If this woman who's going to be willing to stick with me and push through with me through my rough times, I'm gonna make sure she's gonna be blessed when I'm at my good times. That was one of the things that I definitely wanted to do. Now, the woman who I'm with now, she wasn't always dealing with me when I was at my financial bottoms, but there was some times she was with me when I was struggling, whether it was mentally or emotionally. She's seen me through on certain aspects when I hit hard times, when I had to make some financial decisions and that I didn't want to make, certain sacrifices I didn't want to make. She was there. She knew my story, and I shared it with her. When I was financially challenged at times, I shared that with her. When I was broke and didn't have shit, I shared that with her. It's a good thing when you're able to be vulnerable with somebody who you consider that you love, and especially in your life. It's because sometimes as a man, it's hard to deal with them burdens. And I know we have our man groups and guy groups and get-togethers, and you may have a friend that you can share. But you also know your friend's gonna be, they not gonna show you no mercy. And sometimes you just need some you need some mercy. Sometimes you don't always need a stern fist. Now, most times with me, you gotta, I probably need it. But there's times when I don't. And so you're not always going to get a stern fist if you get that right woman. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not going to get that. And sometimes she's going to come with a more gentle spirit. And sometimes she may tell you what you need to hear, and it may, and is what you need to hear. But she's saying it in a loving way. I got some buddies, man, they're going to think you ain't shit. What the hell was you thinking about? And I need that. I'm not going to sit there and say, no, I don't need that. No, I do. There's also times when you need, it's going to be all right. And you need that to just rub your back, give you a hug, give you some words of encouragement, kiss you, tell you she loves you, and keep it moving. Sometimes you need that too. Now, I know you tough guys out there. Y'all know y'all don't need that. Y'all too tough for that. You're too tough for a woman to tell you you love them. Or tell her you love her. I understand. I guess I ain't that goddamn tough. Because I like to hear it every once in a while. I guess it's called a level of some type of appreciation. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. But look, I wanted to do this show today because I think it's very important. I think it's very important to have a budget, to create a budget, to build a budget. I think it's very important. Especially for individuals who has kids. because you want to share on those good habits, right? You want to be able to share with your family so they can build family wealth. And you can do that with a budget. You can build wealth with a budget. When you have a budget, it allows you to have, like I said again, there's certain discipline. It's going to force you to have a certain level of discipline. And having a budget will do that for you. And you passing that down to your kids, guess what? Now they're going to be ahead. Now they could be ahead of the curve. Now they don't have to get involved in all that credit card debt because guess what? You already have the financial knowledge and experience that you can share and pass down to them. So now they don't have to suffer. They don't have to go through the same financial debt that you had to go through. They don't have to go through certain struggles because you already been through it and you was able to share with them on how to make certain moves, how to invest, how to save, how to budget. You already done that, been there and done that, and had that experience, and you can write a book about it. But now you can share it on to the next generation. And it don't have to be your kid. Like I said, it could be your neighbor. It could be a loved one. It could be a family member. It could be somebody you're mentoring. You can go career day at your child's school and have that same conversation that another child may not even get at his home. And it's able to change his life. It's able to make him think. It's able to make him recalibrate on what he's doing, especially financially. So I wanted to make sure I had this conversation today. That's very important to me. Like I said, it's one of the reasons I continue to do the Wednesday show, because I want to be able to help some people. It's not always about money. It's not. It's not like I make a lot of money off of YouTube, and I'm not looking to make a lot of money off of YouTube. But I want to see my people win. I want to see my people be successful. I want to see people do better, emotionally, mentally, and financially. And if my faults, if my failures, if my triumphs, my experience can help somebody, I'm all for that. If the things that I didn't do right is able to help the next man or woman, I'm okay with that. If hearing his sob story will be beneficial to the next person, I'm okay with that. I always want to hear the good story, but I know there's not always going to be a good story. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some ups and downs, some peaks and valleys, some highs and some lows. I know this is part of life. But the key part is, how did you make it through it? How did you get through it? Was you able to get through it with a few bumps and bruises, or did you take a hard fall, some major setbacks? And once you came through that, did you do preventative maintenance where you're not going to have to go back, where you're not going to backslide or fall off the wagon or get yourself in that same situation again? Are you taking the proper measures to do those things? And that's very important. My lady shared that, your mind line's going too long, you're sharing too much, personal stuff. You're right. I did. But if what I share was able to help somebody, I'm okay with that. Please believe me. I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to share anything that I haven't already dealt with, addressed, or able to handle. I know certain spaces they come back, throw shit in your face, and that's cool. I'm okay with that, man. That shit don't bother me. 49 years old. You don't think I ain't never heard somebody say, you broke, you ugly, you this and that? Man, look, I've been joked about, criticized, insulted. Ain't shit that you could do to hurt me. Not with these silly words. I mean, shit don't bother me like that. I rise above it. Now she bending the knee. Look at this shit. Now she gonna bend the knee. I take that back. I ain't gonna basement. Your monologue wasn't that long. Okay, then. I forgive you. But the most important thing, man, is I'm doing this because I want to see people win. I want to see people win. And if there's something I can share with somebody that can help them win, man, so be it. So be it, man. When I'm able to tap in and collab with other people, man, who are trying to do the same thing, I love that. Who's got a good message and is about their business. And if they a man, a woman of the word, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. Look, let me say this real fast. I'm not keep going too long after that. There's a lot of great content creators out here that don't always get the props and appreciation that they deserve. They don't. There's some up and coming young content creators, man, that are out here doing good stuff, man. And I sometimes I don't even say anything. I just watch, pay attention, and observe, and I just listen. I watch how they move, how they operate, how they carry themselves. And I say to myself, man, if that content creator ever asks me to do a collab or do a show with them, I ain't got no problem with it. But then there's some, don't even waste your breath. Don't waste your time and hit me in my DMs. Don't waste your time because I ain't coming through. I'm just not. And so I try to kind of move like that because I see how some things are going. I don't like how some of the things are going. I don't like the direction I'm seeing. So I just try to stay away from that stuff. Because, man, guys, you got to protect your mental. And with that being said, let me get my exiting monologue, as my lady would say. It won't be too long. Guys, I appreciate you being here tonight. I promise you I do. It was a great show. I you know, even though it was maybe a lot of people here live, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Some people give you a hard time. Well, you only have so many people. That's cool. I'm okay with that. But guess what? The beautiful thing about modern technology, they can always watch replay. And they can get the message. If they don't get it live, they get it 3 hours now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. I don't care, as long as they get the message. As long as they get the message. That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing to me, as long as they get the message. So, guys, if y'all know somebody that you know can benefit from this message, please share it with them. Guys, if you had the opportunity right now, hit that like button. And if you just watch from cloud, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys. And comment. Let me know what do y'all think. Let me know what do you think of my show, how's it going, where I'm going. I want to know all of that. I want to know all that. I want to know that because why it's going to help me be a better content creator. It's going to help me be a better person. What's going on, my brother Marcus? It's going to help me to bring the shows and talk about the situation and stuff that y'all want to talk about and y'all want to hear about. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, everything y'all send me, I'm going to talk. No, I'm not. And I'm going to pick and choose accordingly to what I feel comfortable with. You know, I don't like to go too far out of my wheelhouse. But I am interested in what people are thinking about what you think about the show. Because it's going to help me to improve the show. It's going to help me bring a different spin to the show if need be. Help me have an idea what y'all like to have a conversation about. And I want to talk about it. Let's do it. With that being said, guys, I always appreciate you coming. But before I do that, black man, please protect yourself at all times. Whether it means you need to get on somebody's couch or somebody's Zoom meeting, do what you got to do for your mental. Guys, get your A1C in order. Get your A1C checked. Blood work, heart disease, and diabetes, two amongst the most biggest killer amongst the black men. So do what you got to do. Go out there and get a full physical, not that half-hearted physicals. Just check for hernia and bullshit like that and just blood pressure. No. Get a full physical. Do what you got to do. And a man of a certain age, such as myself, please go get your prostate check and your colonoscopy check. Colon cancer is a motherfucker, man. It is. And it's something that could be prevented. It's something that could be taken care of. But you have to make sure you go get the proper things done. There's different methods of doing it. There is. There's not just one way. You can do the way of giving a colon sample, giving a bowel movement sample. You could do that. But I recommend you actually go get it done, especially if you're a person who is high risk, who has a history of colon cancer in your family. So I definitely recommend. They recommend that the earliest age of African Americans, us black folks, us Negroes, at 45. Do what you got to do. And if you have a history of it, I recommend doing it at 40. But make sure you take care of yourself, man. Do what you got to do in order to be in this world. I believe in nepotism. I'm all for it. Our time is coming. It's all about when. So with that being said, guys, you have a great night, and I will see you on the next one. Right on? Oh, look here. Look at her. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Boy, you got some people, bud. You just come in at the last minute. Black and brown people. Boy, if it's one of my white brothers, he'd be here on time. But this brown brother, man, God bless him.
Yo,
man? What are you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, Hank?
I'm good, man. What are you coming at the last minute for? What's going on with you, Marcus?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear echo?
No, you good. I can hear you loud and clear, brother.
No, man. I just wanted to come by, see some support. I didn't really know what the topic was. You know, I try to know what y'all were talking about, but I just want to come show support. But if I heard the last part you said about, I was hearing that last. Yeah, I was hearing that last part you said about you're willing to listen to all. I wanted to ask you though. Originally, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this. When you first started your channel, were you focused more on a certain collective of people or community, or did you want to just be in general and see if your message touches a lot of people's soul or hearts, minds, stuff like that?
When you say general people, you think I'm just talking about black people?
Well, you did say brown and white. I mean, you threw us out there under the bus a little bit. So yeah, I'm trying to find out that.
Look here, man. It doesn't matter.
I'm trolling with you. I'm trolling with you half the time, though.
No, it's all good. Look, I want to help my white brothers. I want to help my Asian brothers, my brown brothers, and my black brothers and sisters. Please don't let me forget the sisters. You know, look, I just want to help people. If my message can be beneficial, I don't care what color you are, what age, what religion, whatever the case may be, whatever your financial status is. I don't care about that. I just want to help some people, man. They're going to benefit from what I share, what I say, and what I talk about. That's the most important to me at the end of the day. Now, I was a certain audience. Yeah, I was really trying to point towards young cats, you know, between the ages of 16 and 25, because that's a gap at that age, man, where a lot of them are really being left out and not addressed or talked to or having. And the reason why, let me give you some backstory about it. The reason why, because you remember Job Corps?
John Corps?
Yeah, you remember Job Corps, the philosophy of Job Corps? Well, Job Corps was one of those things. That was one of the things I was thinking about getting in if I didn't get my football scholarship. If I wouldn't go to college, I'd get my football scholarship to go. I was thinking about going to Job Corps. And Job Corps ranges from 16 to 25. And so that kind of gave me the idea of that age range between 16 and 25 is because of the Job Corps. So that's the reason why I tried to choose that age, because, you know, that reason. Um, but no, my message for anybody who can benefit from it, Marcus. No, nobody in particular.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't think of this question just to peer pressure you into a corner. So no, I just wanted to ask just what you think overall, what you believe in, the channel basis of it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody.
No, it's not a particular race or age group or sex or anything like it. Look, if a young lady able to listen to my message and benefit it, man, hey, more power to her. If a young man is able to hear my message, pour more power to him. If an old head, one even older than my old ass, is able to hear my message, an old chick able to hear my message and benefit from it, hey, more power to him. That's all I care about. That's
You
it.
know, I wanted to give you your props too, though. I did want to give you your props. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did want to give you your props because you've talked about personal health. You talked about relationship issues. You talked about the good and the bad. You talk about being active in young youth lives in sports and stuff and helping them, guide them in a way where the discipline, hard work, perseverance, responsibility, work ethic type things, a lot of these traits that are very helpful, especially to young men that are trying to go into the future. Any young person, men and women, but particularly young men, because I know that's the years where, especially as a teenager and high schooler, before you go on to either college or the military or whatever, ambition you have or every drive you have, it's going to take a lot of work. And then you talk about comics, sports, health, relationship issues. So I'm glad that one of the smartest things people can do on YouTube is not put yourselves in one singular hole and make sure that you have multiple doors and avenues of conversations. Because before you know it, you're going to start talking about the same thing over and over again. But if you keep your mind open and bring people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different job careers, resumes, whatever it is, and experiences, that it's kind of like that Joe Rogan effect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we need more people that isn't just Joe Rogan. We need other people like the ones that don't get noticed enough. So I think platforms like this and opportunities like this that you're presenting for yourself and for others, it speaks to volumes to it. So I just wanted to come and tell you that, and I wanted to just ask you some questions because me and you, I don't think we've ever talked about that, and you didn't have to answer, but I appreciate you just talking, have that conversation, letting me up on your show and your panel, and letting me come out of my pocket to be a member, and you benefit from my profit. So you're welcome. But I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you, man. My hard work. I'm saying I'm sweating. I'm a typical Mexican. Working hard, slimming away. But it is what it is. But I appreciate you, like always, bro. I say, I'm glad that you're one of those guys that I got to meet on these platforms, and you're doing well with the community and kids, man, because whether the kid is black or white or Asian or Blasian, it don't matter, Hispanic, whatever, it's like, kid, I remember there were individuals in my life, adults, when I was a kid or teenager, playing and doing sports and being active, and those men I still remember to this day. I don't forget them. I don't even forget the nursing staff. I don't forget the athletic director. I don't forget coaches like that. Like there was a coach who self-deleted himself, and me and him didn't have the best relationship, but he was one of those tough, disciplined coaches, and it stung because whatever he was going through, he took his life. He's no longer with us, and this was years ago, but he was a hell of a football player, hell of a coach. And things like that. I don't forget about another coach, my wrestling coach, who passed away from he had a cancer in the throat, and he was probably like he's like a family to me. We won 3 state championships back to back to back. We were three-peating, and he taught me a lot too. He was actually a good, decent human being. He was a psychology major, taught psychology class. Wasn't just a coach; he was also a teacher, and he was a teacher in multiple ways. And I was an honor to know him as well. Rest in peace, Coach Jenkins and his family. There's the unsung, unforgotten heroes in our lives in one way or another. And God bless his family, and anybody else out there. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say God bless you. We respect you. God love for you. I'll always support you. And I'm a veteran myself, and salute to you as well.
I appreciate that, sir. And again, once again, I always make sure I recognize. Thank you for your service. I appreciate that, Marcus, for the kind words. But yeah, man, there's times where I kind of struggle with, am I going to continue this thing? Am I going to switch it up? Am I going to do this or that? And I talk to certain individuals who remind me, no, you just keep pushing. You just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. People see it. You may not see it, but people see what you're doing, and I appreciate the kind words, man. Sir Hill had a conversation with me on the back chat, man, on certain things he sees and what I can do and improve and stuff like that. And I try to make sure I do that. I don't mind being challenged. I'm okay with that. Like I said, I don't mind when somebody make comments and let me know what I can do or what they don't like. It just like, I'm okay. I'll read it. Now, I'm not gonna say I always agree with what you're saying. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna always do what they ask. I'm gonna evaluate it. I'm gonna look and I'm gonna check it out. And if that means I need to go to the mirror and evaluate, hey, such and such said this, man. Do I really do this? Do I say it this way? Or should I do this? Or do something different? Or change my tone? Or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna have a self-evaluation because I think that's good. As a man, you have to do that. Because there may be some adjustments you need to make in life, man. It's gonna make you a better person, and you can't be blindsided because your ego or your pride won't let you see certain things. Somebody see it, and you just gotta accept what it is. Like I said, I don't have no problem with get my ass kicked. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? You need to switch and do this. So I don't have a problem with my lady said to say, baby, I think you would benefit more by doing it this way than that way. Sometimes you can't always come to me with a hard fist. Sometimes I need a hug. You know what I'm saying? I need a gentle rub on my head.
You cuss him out first, then you tell him to give him a hug?
I cuss him out, then I say, let's hug it out.
Yeah, that's a good chat. That's a good chat right there. No, and that's the thing too, right? Because, and I'm probably going to cut it short because I know you got to head out soon. But, I just think that, smart man learns from his mistakes, or wise man learns from others. And then a lot of the people that we come across, whatever you can apply to it and it works for you. Appreciate you, Dorian. Whatever applies and works for you, then awesome. I was going to tell you something, and I don't want to let, because we mentioned ego and pride. Hopefully this doesn't go to your ego or your head or something. But I started collecting Funko Pops, and I was like, I blame Hank, man. Like this mother right here. And you know what I do? Yes, sometimes I'm a cheap bastard. I'm a cheap son of a bitch. But I go to the clearance section because I ain't trying to, I make well enough for me. I'm not trying to brag. I make very well for myself. But I'm still trying to be that cheap guy with the coupons and like online sales and specials. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? You know what I'm saying? Black Friday, I stay indoors. I stay indoors because I shop Cyber Monday. You know what I'm saying? Those are better deals. I ain't trying to get shot. Because I don't want to go to the store and get Walter Payne by a chick trying to get a TV or some shit, trying to go for the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Before I get out of the door. But I got like almost like 20 Funko Pops, and then I start collecting like those keychains they have with like the little figurines on it and stuff like that, like the little figures. You know what I'm saying? I got like 30 of those. So I'm like, this will got me in debt almost now.
Marcus, I got some too. I just ain't brought them down to display.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, this dude got me in debt right now. I got to open a credit line now. I was like, so he got to influence me a little bit. And like, but I got that right there. I got my little section right there. And so I'm like, I know I've seen plenty of other channels that have huge platforms. Shout out to Dorian again. So, hey man, appreciate you. I just want to let you know that, you're part of the reason why you kind of inspired me a little bit. And, God bless you for that. It's because I don't really spoil myself like that much. You know what I'm saying? I'll spoil my dogs. I try to spoil like my significant other or like my parents or something like that. If I ever get, whenever I see my mom or like my dad or something like that through online or something. But he said, don't open no damn credit. You know what I'm saying? But like, investments, investments. I was shooting myself in the foot because I used to have the #1 first issue of Amazing Spider-Man that was worth like, and at that time, my father, he had bought off auction cars a lot. Like he would go for a landscape construction business. He liked to have like small cars to get good economic gas, save money, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Get it for cheap and fix it up a little. And then next thing you know, in the back seat, when he bought this Honda Accord, it was like a 91 or something like that, or 92. And I go and I look under the seat and I see in a plastic, like the plastic slip covers for the comics, you put them in there. And I seen it's the number one. And at that time, I'm a kid, so I'm like, I'm glad it's a comic book. I get to read something. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to read the Bible all the time. You know, as much as I you know, amen to God. But I go years later, I see the appraisal on it. It's like $500,000. Man, I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, I missed out, bro. I missed out. And it was in mint condition and everything. Like, it was all clean. No dirty grease fingers, no Cheeto puffs, nothing like that. No torn feet, nothing like that. No happy cream on it, nothing like that. It was all the peaches didn't stick together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool, man. It was cool. It was safe. And then I you know, to this day, that's one of my biggest regrets. I can admit some of the regrets I have. You know, my chick here or there that I probably shouldn't have, you know, smashed and raw dogged. Take that back. But, you know, and then now that too, man, I was like, shit, man. But that's something that I just wanted to open up with you about, because I know you're a comic aficionado. That's what I call you, a comic aficionado, you know, in Funko Pop gallery. So hopefully whenever we get to display Funko Pop gala, you probably one of the first ones to start showing your Funko Pop gala, because you always do a posting every week or something like that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you said that, because I was talking to Logic earlier. He blamed me for having like $1,500 worth of pops he got, and now Rilla has started collecting them as well. So I don't know, maybe I'm bad on the budget. Maybe I need to because y'all definitely can't a budget with Funko Pop.
And I play it smart too, bro. I go for the one you get, buy one get one free. So I play it smart. So if I get 5, I get another 5 for free. You know what I'm saying? I leave with 10, and I'm like, you know what?
That's right.
You know, it's what is it saying? Leave him at the restaurant. You know, leave him at the leave him at the GameStop. Because that's where I might get them there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, you know, Walmart usually has some for pretty reasonable price. Target's okay, but the best ones are going to be like when you got these specialized stores. I don't know what state you're in, but certain states.
I'm in Cali, West Coast.
Oh shit! Then I know you got California is I want to say Hollywood, California. That's where the second biggest hub for Funko Pops. Now, of course, they originated in Washington, in the state of Washington. That's where they originated from. But California is the second biggest hub. So those are the two states I want to definitely make sure I go. I've been to California before. I've been to San Diego, and I've been to Ontario, and damn, what's that other city in California? I can't think of the other one. But I went to like 3 cities.
Oh, you've been to Ontario? Oh, you're close. You were that close to me then.
Yeah, my daughter's mother lives there, so I was down there for her graduation, so I stayed down there for a week. But yeah, I want to definitely go to that little hub in California, but also Washington. So those are 2 spots I'm definitely going to be going out west within the next couple of years. So. Big old Funko Pop place, man. I love it out there. Well, I love what I've seen, so I need to make sure I visit.
By the way, one last thing too before we head out. Deadpool Wolverine coming out in about 15 to 16 days. I don't know if you got your ticket already. I'm definitely gonna watch that. Yeah, and then go Ravens, go Warriors, go Dodgers. You know, but then UFC and boxing too. So. I'm a big fan of that too. Hopefully we get to talk about UFC boxing on your sports channel sometimes, because I don't think that gets enough recognition or shine. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I don't. You know, son. The only reason I don't talk about it is because I don't watch it as much as I used to. But like when it's down season, like what it is now, I kind of get into the more. You know, like during the summertime when I don't really have too much. But see, it's only gonna be like 2 months, so it's gonna be like. Between the month of June and July, I talk about it because we know August, that ramps up football season for me, especially fantasy football. So I kind of get the more locked in on that. But yeah, man, look, if you want to come up and talk about it, we can definitely talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to leave the conversation.
You got to be prepared about it, though. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to get, you know, I just want to make sure that you understand what you're dealing with. You get me? I'm like the Marlon Brando when it comes to that. I'm like, the what's the Irishman, Joe Pesci, freaking Al Pacino. I'm the Departed. I'm the Leonardo DiCaprio. I am the one with the sports stats, facts, history, and stuff like that. Just like I am with comics and stuff like that, and a few other things. You talk about weapons, talk about food, talk about like landscape, traveling. You know what I'm saying? And the occasional combat sports here and there. So things like that. That's what I like to talk about too.
That's cool. No, for sure. We definitely make sure we have a conversation. But I appreciate the input. Oh, definitely, because I don't know if you was able to watch this past boxing match. I was definitely with Shakur Stevens. I was definitely disappointed.
Yeah, no offense. He's not the most exciting fighter. Does he get the job done sometimes with his style? He could, but when you're gonna go up against Gervonta Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez and other cats like in that demeanor. But yeah, like I just think Shakur, in my opinion, I think he's overhyped and overrated, and that's just my opinion. Just the opinions of myself do not reflect the opinions of Hank the Basement or any other Funko Pop behind him. But yeah, that's just me, bro. Like I like Gervonta, I like Tank. He hasn't failed on a drug test yet. So I like him, and I like Teofimo Lopez at times when his dad doesn't run his mouth too much.
You ain't shit for that.
You know what I'm saying? And I also, I do like, crazy how Usyk beat Fury and just totally dominated him, I think, from my opinion. But I think Fury at the time was already done. He was already retired. Like he looked like he was a cast member for the movie of Snatch back in 2001 when he was in that, Wine with the Gypsies and stuff like that. Like, I like my Caravan Blue, I like, you like Dags, stuff like that. But, yeah, man. And I hope that, I see Benavidez and Bivol box, and I hope Canelo boxes at least 3 to 4 more fights before he wants to ride off to the sunset, however many fights he thinks he has. And maybe Terrence Crawford too, hopefully, because I like watching Terrence Crawford too, because he's a dominant fighter. He reminds me like another better version of Marvin Hagler. No disrespect to Marvin Hagler, but I think he's just the more updated 2.0 version. So yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
I gotta make sure that I do my display, man, because my lady gonna give me hell if I don't do this. So I had to put it on video in order to remind me what I had to display. But here we are. So as you can see, action figure / Funko Pop of the week is Destro, one of the characters from the G.I. Joe. One of my favorite bad guy characters from G.I. Joe. I like him and Zartan. Those are probably my 2 favorite. But I had to make sure my man Destro is well represented. And the album of the week is X-Clans. To the east, my brother. To the east, my brother. To the east, my brother. To the east. Shout out to X-Clan, boy. There was some definitely good music back in the days. They was always sending a message, man. Gave you a sense of black pride. Right on. Well, Marcus, with that being said, I'm going to go and shut this down. Because your boy got to get up and break bread. My lady got my meal waiting on me. And your boy hungry. And I need some nourishment. Right on, Marcus. I will see you on Monday, brother. Hopefully you come back. And we can talk more about this good sports. And especially some UFC. They seem like they got a damn fight.
Go ahead, man. Make sure you eat that hypertension, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Let's go. Watch out for the salt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't believe in putting salt in my food. So that's one thing I don't do.
Oh, you put sugar? Okay, you're a sugar guy. All right, peace out, Hank. You stay up, man.
But I'm trying to do better, Marcus. That's all. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I catch you, big brother.
I know, bro. I feel you. I appreciate you.
All right, now. Well, guys, look here. I appreciate you coming through, hanging out. Marcus at the last second decided to show his face, but he came with some kind words, so it didn't hurt so bad. My man Will said, dark tan. I hate Suspentor. Look, I don't know. Is it because of what he did with Cobra Commander, Will? Is that why you hate him? Because he turned Cobra Commander to a snake? That shit was funny. So for those who have never watched a G.I. Joe movie, y'all have no idea who Serpentor is. Now, maybe I do, because I think later on after the movie, they kind of introduce him. But Serpentor was, who was Will was just talking about. He is he took over the over Cobra, because he got rid of Cobra Commander because he felt like he was incompetent. He always taking L's. Will said, great show. I appreciate that. He said, yep. Okay, there you are. There it is. But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you coming, man, and I thank you for coming through. Once again, let me end it this time. Hopefully nobody in the back. Nobody in the back. So we're going to end it like we're supposed to. Guys, I appreciate you coming. Continue to rock with me. I'm going to continue to put out great content. Talk to my guy and try to set up a date when I'm going to do my show with his passport situation. It's strange, man, because he sent me another text message on what immigration sent to his lawyer. And man, it's crazy. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. But I definitely won't talk about it. I can't wait to have this show, getting it all set up. Looking forward to present it to you guys and here in the near future. But we will talk more about it on the next one, right on? Until then.